All right, so we got some new things to talk about here. Um, I kind of ran around yesterday, 2 days ago, to visit people in person about this, but we were buying Meta and we were buying Microsoft and we were buying AMD, and so Facebook here has gotten to the point where it's now time to sell. We were buying down here, now it's up high. It's time to sell. Um, if we look at, we'll just draw like a little shitty line here. So if we look at here where it would traditionally kind of bounce out of, uh, just call this the top end of the range, the top end of what people would be willing to pay. And then obviously over time it does become more valuable, but there's a higher probability that we come down and we could buy it again and come back up. So it's not worth it to continue to hold. We'll just take the profits here. So that's what we did yesterday and 2 days ago. Is we just took our profits here on the big move up, and same with Microsoft, where I think we were buying ever since earnings back here. So we've been having a couple of good Fridays here. Would that be like 4 or 5 weeks of Fridays that we were able to buy Microsoft, and so now we sell it up here. If we look at MSFU, it was something like under $42 here. Yeah, so I still have the mark. So every Friday that we were able to buy under $42, we bought under $42, and now we're selling here at 46. That's a 10% profit. If it's every $4.20 is 10%, and so we took that, and now we're out of Microsoft. Microsoft is too high, so we're not going to be looking at Microsoft anymore. We're out of that. And then for MetU, same thing. I think there was only about 2 weeks here. There was like 2 weeks of Fridays that we were able to buy here, and if we were in for under 32.50 ish, in for under 32.50, out for roughly 38. That's a $6 move. Just for rough bullshitty math. It's a $6 move that is 20%. So we take our 20% out of Facebook, and we take our 10% gains out of Microsoft. And so that's the end of Facebook and Microsoft for us. And I believe that all that's left is AMD. So we're still getting this rounded out move here, and it has come together. I would expect possibly, it's not guaranteed, but possibly one more down move while this, I don't know if I can zoom in well enough to really show it. If we do something like this, maybe. If we do something like that and we zoom in a little bit here, you can see how it's popping out the blue here. If I move the mouse out of the way, so the blue is popping out of the red here, and we're going to wait for this to come around and come back out the other side. So let me put this sort of back. There we go. Yeah, that'll do. So while this is completing its together move, you can see it kind of here where it started to move up. Obviously this moved up a bunch, and so I'm not actually expecting it to move up the entire way and then come down and then back up again. I'm kind of expecting this to come down right away, down to, I don't know, 136.75. I just made that number up, but just roughly, it's going to come down again and then come up when it starts to come out of it. You can see it back here in August. When it starts to come out of it here, then it'll make its entire move that says, hey, I'm ready to go back into like a bull market type of look for the next, what was that, like a month? So that's what I'm expecting, is somewhere through here we'll start to move down. So somewhere through here we'll start to move down, and then when it pops out the other side, we'll make our move all the way back up to, say, like 170 is what we'll be looking for. So if we go to AMDL, if we go to AMDL, let's call it like 16 to 17, somewhere in there is what we're looking for. And we've gotten quite a few weeks since previous earnings. I think maybe 8 or 9. Earnings was October 30th, so we had the entire month of November, this week of December, and then maybe the week after that and the week after that, possibly. And so we'll call it like December 20th, I think, is a Friday. If I just pull this up real quick here. Oh, I don't need that. December 20th is a Friday. I would expect this is reasonably the last Friday we'll get out of AMD. So 2 more weeks, I'm guessing, of buying below this $12 mark, and then we're gonna take our move up and head up to 16 to 17, where we'll be selling. So we should be all out of Facebook, and we should be all out of Microsoft, and then we're looking in the next 2 weeks to find the climb back up in AMD and sell around $16, $17 or so on the AMDL side. If we take a quick look at the rest of these, Apple is too high. Amazon's way too high. Google would have been, it would have been okay to buy here, but they had some news, and I don't typically care about the news or trade off of the news. I trade off of the chart, but they were being sued by the government, and so I wasn't really bringing this one up because I didn't know what would come of actually being sued by the government. So maybe in a couple of weeks after we do the AMD thing, we'll take a look at Google and see if it's down in here somewhere, because it looks like it's still holding up and wanting to follow this, at least the bottom of the trend here. So that'll be good to at least follow this one out. Oh, we have Nvidia, which Nvidia doesn't even look that bad really. Yeah, I mean it doesn't look this bad. I like initially I wanted to have the mindset of saying it's not viable, but it's actually looks better than I expected. So again, we're just looking to complete the AMD move, and then we'll see maybe in like 2 weeks. All of this will change in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks we'll have a better outlook as to what we're watching and what we're moving into going into earnings. But for now, it's just AMD left. I forgot Tesla, but Tesla I already knew was way too high, so wasn't even going to bring it up. The other thing to consider is that SPY was giving a look, and the triple Qs were giving a look that it wanted to drop out. If we go to like a smaller time frame, I know it's here somewhere. Yeah, so right here, where the blue is coming through, it's giving a look that it wants to get some relief to it. I think the number was like 290 or 595 to 592.50. So I'm looking for like a SPY rollover, and that'll be drawn out through Apple, AMD, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Microsoft. All the major stocks are basically going to want to look to roll over. So if Apple is really high and Amazon's really high, Facebook's really high now, and Tesla's really high, when they roll over, the larger indices, the SPY and the triple Qs, are going to want to roll over too, because these are just a reflection of a bunch of these companies put into this ETF, and this is like a reflection of the entire economy as far as companies are concerned. And so this is giving the look as a collection of all of the data in the market that it wants to roll over. So I would expect these to be rolling over soon, because this has said the when. If I'm looking for like a when, it told us here when it pushes up, it says, hey, I'm ready to come down, and then it does. So now it's pushing up again, and it's ready to come down, and then it does. So we'll be looking here, say 290 or 594. We'll be looking for SPY to come down to like 594, and it might be a pretty reasonable signal that a lot of these other stocks we're interested in have come down, and then now it's time to buy. So we'll just be watching the SPY for the when, and the same with the triple Qs, where this is starting to come together, the blue into the green. We can zoom in again here. So you can kind of see it here where the green is coming together. It's kind of starting to signal a when. And so I'm expecting that when to happen, out here somewhere, and get us back down into this range here, which means that all of these, because the triple Qs is a reflection of the big important tech sector companies, and it also happens that all of the ones that I like, this Apple, Amazon, Google, AMD, Facebook, they're all heavily weighted within the tech sector. So the triple Qs will be another reflection of a when to come. There's a when coming, where obviously you can see it in the past here. It pushes way up, then it signals a when, and then it starts to drop off, and it started to create this little channel here, which is just a smaller time frame of these lines that I like. So when it comes back in here, then I say, okay, these are low, these are buyable, these are in good prices, and we can buy it out here and watch it travel upwards. So I'm expecting like a market rollover to come soon. I'll take like the Nasdaq from 524 down to say 505. It's just like a made up number. Something like, I mean, I don't know why I'm drawing a line. I already have lines. It's right here. So something like 509 ish or something, like a $14 drop down. But this $14 drop will be reflected in all of these stocks, and so that's what we'll be waiting to see. So for now, we just have AMD, and I expect AMD to do like one final little drop down, and let's just make up a little like bullshit price action move here, something like this, and then another move up here, and what does that look like on this time frame? That's into the first red here. So I mean, I just made this up just now, but that takes us out to 12/13, which is next week. If we drop down by the 10th, which is 5 days from now, and then a move up. Was that 13th? Yeah, 13th. So just a completely made up number here, but this is what I expect is one final move down when this will show us a little bit of a when here. Let me get that little hand movie thing. So when the green comes up to the blue, we'll be looking at it to the price to want to come and pay this off. And so that'll be at about 140, which is just $1.30 down from where we are now. But that'll probably happen tomorrow, realistically. If this, come on, if this comes up into here, and then the blue travels across, it'll be sometime tomorrow or the next day. We'll find that 140 mark, and then it'll pay it out down to here to say like 138-ish, and then it'll take its bounce back up. So that's the expectation for AMD, and then the bounce travel up to up here somewhere. We'll see when it gets there, but travel upwards. First stop here at 150, which I think is that $12 mark. Yeah, it's 1250. 1250 on AMDL will be like our first bounce up here, and then we'll do a little stair-steppy move all the way up to $16, $17, and then we'll be looking to sell. So expect that to happen over like the next 2 weeks or so. That's the plan. Quick little video. It may not have been quick because I've been talking for a little while. Looks like 12 and a half, 13 minutes. But yeah, this will be it. So out of Facebook, we're done with that. Out of Microsoft, we're finished with this as well. And all that's left is the AMD move. The AMD move take us up to $16, $17, and we'll be out of that as well. So that's it. I'll probably be back in like 2 weeks or so if something has changed, and until then, we'll just wait for the AMD move.